Hey, happy Friday. You made it to the end of the work week. Congratulations. That's definitely something to celebrate. We have a lot to talk about today here on the forecast, so thanks for joining us on this Friday. We have a 3-star map to talk about. Storms out of the Kansas City suburbs last night produced large hail across the city, especially on the northern side of the city. Several rounds of storms also in the forecast as we head into the weekend and into early next week. And we're also staying hot for a good portion of the U.S., especially out to the west. So let's jump right into that. Let's start with what we saw yesterday. A lot of people had their eye on Kansas City last night. I sat down just about to go to bed and that storm popped up, causing a lot of commotion across the metro. But first, let's go out to the north and west. You can see that we saw a few reported hailstones anywhere from Rapid City up to southern North Dakota and even into Montana. Now, storm reports across Kansas and Missouri, just really anywhere from Wichita over across the state line here, were very, very numerous. Okay, we saw that storm go up in El Dorado. That produced several rounds of hail, and then we had just over the size of 2 inches of hail in the Clinton area. That's on the Missouri side of that state line. Then our attention turned to Kansas City. So just into the late night hours, early morning hours last night, we did see a little storm pop up just to the north of Kansas City, and it was staying in place for quite some time, maybe about 40 minutes there, producing hailstone after hailstone in this area. We have a few pictures for you out of Lansing, Kansas. You can see that we saw quite a bit of hail at a pretty decent size. I wonder if there's any damage in this area. If you do have damage pictures, go ahead and send them in. We love to see your pictures. If you can safely take a picture of that and send it in to us, we'd love to see it. Make sure you put the location of near where you took this picture. So Lansing, Kansas, that was one of the areas that we saw with a good amount of damage. And then another one was Platte City, Missouri. So this is on the Missouri side of things. Now this hail, not too big, but there is a ton of it. I just really liked this picture with all of the rain and the hail in the background there on their porch. It looked like they got a good amount of hail last night. Okay, so taking a look at that hail map. So while all that was happening, our meteorologists were mapping this storm, okay? So you can see just the areas that we saw some of the most significant amount of hail. So Fairmont, Lansing is just to the north of Fairmont there. And then there is Kansas City, right on the Kansas and Missouri state line. The maximum hail size that we saw was 2 inches, just a bit larger than a golf ball there, anywhere from Lansing, Kansas to Parkville, Missouri. Now, taking a look at your current conditions, I haven't seen anything too significant so far, but you can see that we do still have some showers and storms anywhere from St. Louis all the way down to northern Oklahoma, maybe even actually getting into central Oklahoma right now. A good swath of showers and storms anywhere across the East Coast from New York all the way down to South Carolina. And it looks like we've got a few showers off the coast of Florida as well. We've seen showers and storms a lot there here lately. And then off the coast of the Gulf Coast in southern Texas, we've also got some showers and storms, hopefully cooling some people off down in Houston. It is a very muggy day in Houston, 88 degrees right now, 89 in Oklahoma City, not doing too much better here, 84 in Kansas City. Of course, Las Vegas is always the winner at 105. I mean, I don't know if you're the winner if your temperature is 105, but that's the highest temperature on the map right now. It will stay hot over the next few days, but before I talk about the warm temperatures, I do want to get right into the chances for storms, not only today, but also through the weekend. We have 4 more days to see storm chances across the states, mainly in the Midwest near the Great Lakes. So let's take a look at that future radar here. I want you to watch for those storms coming out of Rapid City later on today. This will be a little bit later in the night, so we're talking dinner time into the overnight hours. It's dark whenever most of these storms come through. You can see we're at 8 o'clock now. Those storms coming up into North Dakota and then continuing to track to the east across the state through the overnight hours. Now, yes, these are hail producing storms, most likely producing hail larger than the size of a quarter. We have tons of area. Let's see, we're talking about Nebraska, South North Dakota here. So 3 different states with a really good chance to see hail producing storms tonight. We call them little hailers if they are just isolated enough and they're not producing, they're not rotating enough to produce a tornado, but they're just producing a ton of hail, kind of like what we saw outside of Kansas City yesterday. All right, this will continue to track to the east through the overnight hours. We've got tons of instability in this area as well, so we could see storms even farther to the south, but they may not have as much hail associated with them. Taking a look at that hail forecast, so this is what we've drawn for you. I mentioned that you could see some very, very small hail closer to Kansas City, but the farther north that you go, the better chances that you're going to see for some of that larger hail up to the size of almost 2 inches in places like Bismarck. This goes all the way down to the panhandle of Nebraska and even places to the northern portion of Kansas. You can see that. We even have another place into Missouri, like Branson or even Paducah, Kentucky, that we could see some stronger storms through the late night and overnight hours tonight. Okay, the maximum hail size here. I have anywhere from about golf ball to hen egg sized hail here. I think that we'll probably lean closer to golf ball sized hail for the maximum hail size. But of course, once we get those reports in, we'll let you know. We post those pictures of hail on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, occasionally even TikTok and Threads. So if you're on those social media sites, we'd love for you to either send in your pictures or even just take a look at the pictures that we've gathered. Okay, we've got a few more showers and storms through New Mexico this afternoon. Even through Oklahoma, we could see showers and storms all across the state. Not everyone getting rain here, but a few of us could see any of those pop-up showers through the afternoon hours. So if you do have any Friday afternoon plans, make sure that you have your radar handy. Okay, taking a look at southern Missouri here, that's where we're going to see better chances for some of those hailers later on this evening near the dinner time hours, and it does look like it's going to stay pretty rainy across the East Coast all day long. Okay, so we're talking about today, getting into tomorrow now. Early tomorrow morning, we could continue to see these storms across the northern plains. Now tomorrow, it does look like we're going to see better chances for storms across the far northern plains and then into the areas of the Great Lakes. So you can see that we have several areas for isolated to scattered showers and storms just to the north of Minneapolis here. But as we get later on into the day, okay, we're talking about lunchtime now, our attention turns farther back to the west. You're going to start to see those storms pop up in North Dakota through the later evening hours, and that'll be our next chance for storms anywhere from North Dakota, maybe even the Montana area, all the way back to Rapid City, and this will progress to the east through the overnight hours. Look at that, Minneapolis. It looks like you're going to get at least a soaking tomorrow, if not some good hail. So yeah, this goes through the late night hours tomorrow. The maximum hail size that we're watching for here is once again golf ball sized hail, maybe hen egg, but I do think that will trend a little bit closer to golf ball sized hail. Okay, taking a look at the forecast over the next few days. Saturday is not our only chance for storms. We have another round of storms on Sunday, mainly through the northern plains and into the Midwest. Another round of storms on Monday as well. So whenever we're back here at noon on Monday, we'll be talking about what we saw on Sunday. We'll be talking about what to expect Monday as well. Okay, taking a look at what to expect over the next few weeks. Okay, so we're looking a little bit more long term now. We're looking at that high pressure system that's sitting farther out to the west, keeping our temperatures warm. Okay, it looks like we'll be warm all the way through the weekend and through the middle of July. But as we get into the later portion of July, we could cool down a little bit for places like the Midwest, all the way down to Oklahoma. Other places will be staying warm, so this is your likelihood to be above average in terms of temperatures, a very high likelihood to be above average in Florida, very high likelihood to be above average out to the northwest as well in places like Montana. What about those rain chances? I know a lot of people across the nation need rain, especially farther out to the west.